What's going on? Yeah, we're back. Can we trade Kimbrel for new video and audio equipment? Yeah, I'm going to work on this. I don't know what's going on, but let me know if you guys can hear me okay. If I'm glitching at all, I think I fixed the problem. But welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. After another tough loss by the Dodgers, LA falls to the Guardians. And it was a tough loss, a tough series for the Dodgers. You saw more poor execution offensively. The bullpen, they just weren't able to get it done. From Alex Vesia to Daniel Hudson gave up a run to Craig Kimbrel, still continues to struggle for LA. He's now given up a run in 8 of his last 13 appearances. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Andrew Heaney, a bright spot was he did look pretty solid in his return. I think the fastball was really the big takeaway for him. The fastball velocity was up. 5 of his 7 punch-outs came via that heater. Threw it more than he has in his start in all season long. You also saw him get some slider punch-outs late in the game there. But, yeah, I think the big takeaway here was the late-game execution and Craig Kimbrel not being able to execute pitches. And the big takeaway also is Eddie Alvarez in right field. You saw some poor routes. You saw the play in the second inning where he just flat out wasn't able to make a catch on a ball that was in his glove. It was a 1-1 count. We'll break down that second inning. But let me know down below in the comment section, what are your big takeaways from this series by the Dodgers? What is your takeaways about Craig Kimbrel? Do you think he's ever going to be able to find? Do you think the Dodgers need to make a move for a high-leverage reliever? What do you think about the fact that Eddie Alvarez was starting in right field? Would you have preferred to see maybe Gavin Lux in right field and maybe you see Eddie Alvarez at second base, a position he's more comfortable with? And moving forward, what do you guys want to see him do with that position? Because it's clear to me that, yes, Eddie Alvarez, he is fast, he has speed, but he doesn't have the instincts. You saw him going 5-step back on balls that he should be coming in on. You saw him just letting a ball just pop out of his glove. I think the last, the double there in the ninth, that had a lot to do with where they were positionally, but still was unable to make that play. And, yeah, we're going to talk about this entire game. But let me know down below in the comment section, what are your big takeaways from this loss by the Dodgers? I mean, they lose to the Guardians in a series they could easily have swept. But here we go. Let's go back into Zach McKinstry, Jared Eslier. He's going to be a guy that we're going to see what he's able to do because offensively, he's looked pretty solid since he's come back up. And I also think that defensively, he's never going to be that guy, but as long as he can be competent, unlike what we saw Eddie Alvarez today, who really was just a train wreck. And this loss isn't fully on Eddie Alvarez or anything like that. Really, the offense, they need to score more runs, and they need to find a way to generate more offense. And you see Max Muncy continuing to struggle. You see Justin Turner not get it done in the middle of that order. And I think if you're this Dodgers offense, they need to find a way to see who's going to come up and contribute with Mookie Betts out for a few weeks here. Hopefully it's just a few weeks. It could be even longer than that. But, yeah, I think that Bieber, give him credit. He had a nice start. You saw Trey Turner. He goes down swinging 3 times against Shane Bieber. He just wasn't seeing well. But this Dodgers offense just not getting it done again. And really that is the big problem, is the inconsistency with the offense. And last night I was at the game. I was in the press. I was in the clubhouse, and even though they scored 7 runs, they still went 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position. And if you look at this Dodgers offense, they're now 8 for 68 with runners in scoring position in their last 8 games. That's a 118 batting average. They're third to the worst this month. So bottom line is they're just not getting it done with the bats. And when they're struggling offensively at the plate, you're going to see losses like this. But Dodgers are in trouble. That's pound for pound. We got Thomas. I'd rather have seen AJ in the outfield and Kenley on the mound. That's from Thomas Cooney. Yeah, I mean, you could say that. And I think hypothetically, Kenley Jansen is a guy that, yeah, he could still be around a competent level closer, but Kenley Jansen wasn't willing to wait the amount of time that the Dodgers needed to try to free up that $16 million in salary that he was going to require. And that's the deal he's on with the Braves. And if you look at Kimbrel, he's on the same salary on a 1-year contract. He expires after this season. No, 1 year. His contract ends this year, and he has $16 million left on his deal. So if you're Kenley Jansen, you say, hey, man, I'm not going to wait for you guys to sign me. If you snooze, you lose. The Braves picked him up shortly after the Dodgers signed Freddie Freeman. So that could have been a little reactionary, but the bottom line is A.J. Pollock, he is heating up. He is a guy that is a right-handed bat. When you hear Dave Roberts before the game today telling the media that they're interested in adding another right-handed bat, whether that's internally or externally, and you see A.J. Pollock heating up, well, it makes you scratch your head just a little bit. But, hey, at the end of the day, Craig Kimbrel still has some pretty nice stuff. If you want to criticize Craig, I'm all for it. I call him Cardiac Craig. I call it Mr. Kimbrel's Wild Ride. But even the inning you look at, it's very, he just has to put it all together. I didn't love the pitch sequencing there late in the game where, look, that breaking ball, I mean, on the throwing that breaking ball in a 2-2 count there, in my opinion, I think, yeah, and you saw Dave get upset with the strike zone, the strike that was called a ball that was low in the zone, but guess what? It was a ball low in the zone. And earlier in the inning, in the at-bat to Miller, where he gets where they call the second pitch, the four-seam fastball, a ball, he ends up getting that strikeout. You got the strikeout out looking. And then the big problem was he walks Gonzalez, and he's unable to finish off Gonzalez because he had Gonzalez down in a 1-2 count. So I think that's kind of the big issue with Craig Kimbrel's inability to finish off hitters. And yeah, I mean, do you guys think that he's a bust? Do you think that Craig Kimbrel is going to be a bust for the Dodgers? I mean, like I said, Craig Kimbrel before today, he had given up a run in 8 of his last starts. And yeah, I think when it comes to Craig Kimbrel, he's just not getting it done. At the end of the day, he's just not getting it done. You can talk about the way he's being used. You can talk about the way he was used early in the season, but he flat out has to go out there and he has to make pitches. And a 4.71 ERA in 22 games, 12 saves, 21 innings pitched, and a 1.57 whip. That's just not going to get it done for the closer of a team with World Series aspirations. But do you guys think that Craig Kimbrel is going to be a bust? Let me know down below. Unless they are playing the Angels, this team will struggle against every team. That's from Verdell Newsom. Jaime says this team is starting to look like the Lakers. Ouch. Paul Alvarez shouldn't be in right field. He's an infielder. Roberts needs to quit putting guys in positions they're not familiar with. Yeah, I mean, I think Paul Villa, you bring up a fantastic point. I always say you got to set guys up for success, not set them up for failure. And yes, he's an Olympic silver medalist speed skater, but he's a below average right fielder, and he just doesn't have those outfield instincts. And I think that even though you saw him take poor routes at times, even though you saw him go back on balls that were off the bat, we'll get into some of his plays. Even in that second inning there, I mean, that's a ball that is in his glove, and he kind of just makes it tough on himself with his inability to make that catch. So jump to the second inning, a 1-1 pitch. Mercado was safe at first on that fielding error by Alvarez and right. So he ends up all the way at second. And Eddie, he made a little two-hand attempt out there, and you mostly see guys going with the one-hand attempt. You rarely see that with the two hands trying to protect it. And it was in the pocket of his glove. It just kind of popped out right there, and he did have to cover some ground on that play, but still, I mean, that's a play that he'll tell you he has to make. And then following that, Jimenez, he lined to right, and that was hit hard, 109 miles per hour off the bat for the first out. And, of course, you know what they always say, the ball will find you, and it certainly did today. Then following that, Clement, he singled to right. Eddie Alvarez, he starts back, and it drops for a single. So it was really a nightmare of a second inning because he starts 5 steps back, and he's got to be coming in on that one, and he just went the wrong way. That was just flat out what happened there. Goes the wrong direction, and Clement ends up at second, so that takes away the double play in that situation. So that sets the Guardians up with runners on second and third, and then with one out, Hedges hits a sac fly to left to make it 1-0 Guardians, so an unearned run for Andrew Heaney. And then with 2 outs and a runner on second, Heaney gets Straw swinging at a sinker up in the inner third for strike 3. So they got 1 run on 1 hit and an error in that situation. And then if you want to jump to the big key hit in the 9th inning where Naylor doubled to right, I mean, that's a play right there where, I mean, yes, I think from a positional standpoint, he was kind of shaded towards right center, but still, I mean, I think that's a play, of course, Mookie Betts makes. But, I mean, of course, we're talking about Mookie Betts. He's one of the best defensive right fielders in the last 20, 25 years, right? I mean, Mookie Betts is an elite fielder. And then they intentionally walk Kwan, and then the pitch to Jimenez, he ambushes that four-seam fastball, bottom of the zone. He just puts a nice swing on it, nice effortless swing. I like the approach. I mean, if the Dodgers can take something away, I call them the gritty Guardians. You saw the gritty Guardians going out there, battling and at-bats. They know they don't have the best talent, but still they go out there and they compete, and every single at-bat seems like a grinded-out at-bat for them. And I think for this Dodger team that you see them give away so many at-bats, you see them lackluster and get themselves behind the count, you see some weak outs. I mean, I think the way that this Guardians team battled there, especially against this more talented Dodgers team, I think was very impressive. You got to tip your cap a little bit. And then with the base is loaded. Clement hits a sac fly to center, and on that pitch, you got him down in the count. It's a 1-2 pitch. You got him down in the count, and he threw that knuckle curveball, and he leaves it up. He leaves it up in that situation just a little bit, and he's able to get his bat on it, and then that gives him another run, puts him up 5-3. And then what kind of gives you some encouragement when it comes to Craig Kimbrel is he's still punching guys out, and you want to see your closer have the ability to miss bats, and he comes back from that, and he gets a Maley striking out on 3 pitches. So, I mean, look, Craig Kimbrel, he's just not getting the job done. And the bottom line is the velo is down a little bit. But, yeah, if you look at that first at-bat, still able to get that strike. The issue there was walking Gonzalez after having him down the count 1-2 with those 3 straight balls. And look, I mean, he's got to trust that fastball. I mean, just look at, he was missing badly with that curveball, glove side and arm side during that same at bat. And then look, and then finally goes to the fastball at the end of the for ball 4, and that's at the bottom of the zone. So he's got to find a way to dot that fastball. He needs to find the command with it because look, it's just it's not pretty right now. But here we go, fire everyone from Anthony Kimbrel. We got the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Too many strikeouts and no hits with runners on lately. Yeah, I gave you guys the number earlier. It's not pretty. This Dodger team, they're just not executing. 8 for 68 with runners in scoring position, and it's 2 hits off Kimbrel that really hurt, and he's just not getting clean innings. I don't know if the guy's allergic to clean innings, but no clean innings for Craig Kimbrel. He ends up going an inning, allowing 2 runs on 2 hits, had 2 punch-outs and 2 walks. So 2-2-2-2 on 21 pitches. And, yeah, I mean, he's a guy that has to come in that situation and find a way to get the job done and put the Dodgers in a position where they can walk it off in the bottom of the 9th. But here we go. We got Josh Bagwell. Andrew Friedman has his work cut out for him this year. Yeah, Josh Bagwell. We could be talking about the need for a high-leverage reliever, a right-handed bat, an impact starter. I mean, the Dodgers are going to need to make some moves very soon here and towards the deadline if they want to have a realistic shot of winning the World Series. Because, look, everyone said, what did I tell you guys? I did an emergency. Here we go. I'll get you in Juice Narrows. He's a loyal day one. Please DFA Kimbrel. Cali Cats, any chance we can get Josh Hader? I would say there's a better chance of Eric Gagne coming back and pitching like he did when he threw 84 straight saves than the Dodgers getting Josh Hader. Because why would the Brewers want to trade Josh Hader right now? I mean, the Brewers are a team that, look, I mean, if you look at the Brewers, they're second place. They're actually tied for first place in the NL Central. They have no business for trading Josh Hader. There's no rumors of Josh Hader being traded. And I'll tell you right now, Josh Hader isn't going to be traded. And if he was, he would really require a massive haul. I mean, he's been the best reliever in the game this year. If you look at Josh Hader, he's a guy that he's an elite left-handed reliever, and he's really kind of stepped into that closer's role and just dominated, and he still has a year left of team control. So no, don't even get yourself started on that. It's not even a pipe dream, it's a crack pipe dream to think the Dodgers could get Josh Hader. It ain't happening. I'm not sipping that Haderade. I'm just telling you how it is. But what's with Caleb Ferguson, Thomas Cooney? Yeah, they're trying to get him back to where he was before he went down in 2020, and he's made strides. He's taken some baby steps, and there's no question about it. Sometimes you're seeing him miss with that fastball, especially up in the zone, but still, I mean, he's a guy that he's easing his way back. So Kimbrel's fine, relax. That's from Daniel. Matt, don't trust him. Neil says Kimbrel's a bust. Jared S. Lyer, closers by committee. Yeah, I mean, I think that's always been my goal. You want to have closer by committee. You want to play those matchups. But, I mean, if you want to make that case today, it'd be tough to do that because you saw Daniel Hudson. He ends up going 2/3. He gives up no runs, but he gives up that hit, had the walk. I mean, he didn't look his sharpest out there as well. Alex Vesia, he gives up the run, gives up the base hit there in the 8th inning. So, I mean, look, this team just didn't get it done, period. I think really, I think it was a valiant effort really by Andrew Heaney, his first start back. And, look, I mean, Andrew Heaney, what more can you expect out of the guy, considering the fact he hasn't started a game since April 17th, and he comes back and gives you 5 innings of 1-run ball. Of course, he had the 1 unearned run. But, yeah, unfortunately, this team is just offensively is where the issues lie. I mean, 3 runs And yes, you're going against a really, one of the better starting pitchers in the league over the last 2-3 seasons in Shane Bieber. But yeah, they really miss Mookie Betts. And Mookie Betts, he's the engine of this team. He's the spark plug. And there's an opportunity for Trey Turner to step up and show that he can be an elite player that can be the face of a franchise, be a guy that can just take control and lead this team offensively. And today, yesterday you saw he had the big 2-run home run. Today he goes 1 for 4. Has that infield single, but he strikes out 3 times. He was not seeing it well against Shane Bieber. So offense, they just weren't able to get it done. They go 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. You saw Max Muncy. He struggled again. Max Muncy, he had multiple opportunities to just at least get yourself a productive out. Get yourself a productive out and find a way to produce the runners on base, and he just wasn't able to do it. You saw all throughout this game, Muncy just have opportunities at times. The Dodgers end up getting 8 hits in this one. But Max Muncy, he was, today Max Muncy, he ends up going 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, 3 left on base. And, it's a maximum struggle. It's a maximum slump for Maximus Muncy at the moment. And since he homered off of Tony La Russa, remember I did the emergency show and everyone said, Max Muncy's back, Max Muncy's back. And I said, I hope he's back. I hope you're right. But I also said it takes more than one good game to get out of the slump, and it takes more than one bad game to fall into a slump. And since that FU home run against Tony La Russa, Max Muncy has gone 3 for 26, and he's hitting 115. I think the issue on top of just struggling at the plate is the fact that you're batting him cleanup, man. Now, ideally, if he's right, yes, of course you want to bat him cleanup, but when he's unable to just put the bat on the ball, you look at the third inning. Freddie Freeman, he hits that leadoff home run, and that's nice too. Freddie Freeman, you're starting to see him slug, and especially slug with no runners on base. Freddie Freeman has been fantastic with runners on base, with runners in scoring position, but he's hitting just like 214 with the bases empty this season. But you're starting to see him get more hits with the bases empty. You saw him get that double yesterday, a 3-hit game. You saw him get that home run today that put the Dodgers up 2-1 in this one. It was at the bottom of the third inning, a 1-1 count, a little curveball on the outer half, and he just gets it over the fence 374 feet. And following that, Will Smith, he's able to hit a single. He gets a base hit to left center, and then Max Muncy, he strikes out on 4 pitches, and he strikes out swinging on a curveball in the bottom of the zone inner half. And he's seeing a lot of breaking balls. So if you have Muncy as the cleanup hitter, you have to at least have him go up there, put the bat on the ball, find a way to make some contact, find a way to get some extra base hits. But unfortunately, that's just not the case in this one. Max Muncy just continues to struggle. Even the bottom of the 6th inning, he falls behind the count 0-2, takes the third pitch for a ball, and then a ground ball, a little easy ground ball to end the inning. So just not very many competitive at-bats from Muncy at the moment. And I think that this Dodger team, you got Jake Lamb, you got Rake Lamb down there in AAA, and he's been raking all season long, just dying and praying to get a chance here to come up and see what he can do at this level. And I think if you're this Dodger team, unless you have some moves that you're going to make imminently and sign some guys, I think you have to definitely consider your options. Of course, Miguel Vargas a little further off, I think, and that's a little premature, but he's a guy that as well. This Dodger team, you saw them get a lot of base hits yesterday. Everyone was able to get a hit from the starting lineup, save for Austin Barnes, but even he got a sacrifice fly. This team just does not have that spark at the plate. The at-bats are poor. You're seeing them even expand the zone at times. You're seeing them not aggressive at times. Dave Roberts told us in the dugout yesterday that sometimes this team looks like they're trying too hard with runners in scoring position, but here we go. We got, how's that launch angle hitting working for you? That's from Stan, the Rams fan. 8 for 68. Yeah, man, what I always tell you, man, I bring my facts to the fight, right? Trade Kimbrel for some Gatorade, Henry Vega. That just made me thirsty for some Arrowhead. Okay, guys, name some people who could be better closers than Kimbrel right now. Russell Martin. No, it's fine. We got Sisper says, is Mariano Rivera available? EB says, I gave up on Jansen when he blew that save against the second game against the Giants last year. I knew right there that he wasn't the right piece as a closer. LLWC, is it me or is the video buffering? Let me know if that's the case, guys. The video buffering. Kimbrel was getting pinched by the ump and can't. He was definitely getting pinched by the ump at times, and this ump was really bad. He wasn't giving that strike at the bottom of the zone. But like I said, even when it was the most egregious bad call against him, he still got the strikeout to Miller there in the top of the ninth. And look, that's the role of a closer. I mean, he can't show his frustration out there. And the thing about Craig Kimbrel, man, he's flat out pouting at times out there on the mound. I mean, look, you can have some frustration, but you have to focus. I mean, this is a role that you've excelled at for years now, and you can't get caught up in bad umpiring. Look, we know that. I think really that's more of a case. Yes, he's upset that he's not getting that call, but why is he not getting that call? Because a lot of times they're borderline pitches at the bottom of the zone. And why are they borderline pitches at the bottom of the zone? Because he doesn't have the same confidence in his fastball, in his four-seamer, in his knuckle curve, because he knows that guys are getting the bat on his stuff. So I think it's a lack of confidence. So you're not going to blame the umps for this. So I'm not going to blame the umps. They deserve no blame for this. Craig Kimbrel has to go out there. He's got to make pitches. He's got to go out there and execute, and he flat out didn't do that. He wants to be the closer on this team, and he sat around at spring training and he told us that, hey, I'm glad that I can be a closer again. I'm glad that I don't have to be a setup guy, because when I was a closer with the Cubs last year, I had a .49 ERA in 36 and a third innings, but when they had me as a setup guy with the White Sox, I struggled and had an ERA over 5. So if I'm Craig Kimbrel, you talk this big game that you wanted to be a closer again, and that that was a shoe that fit, is exactly what he said. I mean, you have to find a way to get it done in these situations. And look, yes, it wasn't a save situation because the game was tied, but still, I mean, that is a high leverage situation. And yeah, I mean, ERA with the White Sox was a 4.56 ERA. No, like I said, it was over 5. It was a 5.09 ERA, so I was right. Trade Kimbrel for to a Little League team. That's from Carl. Yeah, give me your biggest burns, guys. You'll hear him right here. It's all fun and games. Cleveland's announcers couldn't stop talking about how easy it was to beat the Dodgers because they all swing for the fences. That's from Thomas Cooney. Look, we know that that's an issue with this team. We know that sometimes they lack when it comes to just basic situational hitting, getting your bat on the ball. That's why I was encouraged by some of the at-bats yesterday. You saw even Cody Bellinger on Friday night poke that pitch away into left field and kind of go with it and kind of go where it's pitched, so to speak. If it's pitched down the middle, go to center. If it's pitched on the outer half, go to left. You pull balls inside. So I think when it comes to just the general approach, this team's slugging numbers are down. And who's been hurt the most? Max Muncy and Justin Turner. They are not slugging like they did in the past. Is it because of the dead ball? Is it because of age for Justin Turner? Is it because of the injury for Max Muncy? Yes, those are possible reasons, but the bottom line is the slugging is down. The ball isn't leaving the yard like we've seen with this team in the past. And I think that, look, I mean, this team needs some thump in the middle of that lineup. I think you have to consider bringing a guy like Jake Lamb up. I think you have to consider making a move for some sort of impact right-handed, left-handed bat. And we're going to do some videos on that, so I don't want to burn all my names out there. But look, there are some names available. But this team needs a shakeup. There's no question about it. They're not going to be able to get it done with this offensive production. And it'd be one thing. It would be one thing that if it was just, a couple games, if it was a couple, just like it was a bad series or two. But no, that's not the case. This Dodgers offense, they have struggled for the entire month. This team has struggled for the entire month. And like I said, you guys, I don't just say things. I don't let the facts get in the way of my feelings or my feelings get in the way of the facts. The numbers just don't lie. This month, the Dodgers are. When it comes to OPS for the month of June, LA currently 20th in Major League Baseball at 684. 684, that's 20th in the league. When you look at batting average as a whole, the Dodgers are 21st at 234. If you look at home runs, this Dodger team, for the month of June, they're currently at 18th with 18 bombs. That is just not the offense that we've seen in the last few seasons. So, look, I mean, we're supposed to see an uptick in the offense, right, with the addition of Freddie Freeman, the DH, but losing Mookie Betts really hurt. And, Justin Turner, looking his age, unfortunately, Father Time is undefeated, but he's just not slugging like he did early on last year when you saw that power surge. But here we go. Bellinger can't hit from Matt. Yeah, a lot of things. I mean, Bellinger I actually think is, today Today, Bellinger, he ends up going 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, had 3 men left on base. He's another guy that had some opportunities today that he wasn't able to capitalize on. But, yeah, I think Bellinger, he's kind of, you saw him hit a home run on Friday night. You saw you saw a double. I mean, you're seeing his starting to, turn around. So I think with Cody Bellinger, look, I mean, it's kind of is who he is. And at this point, too, I mean, with Cody Bellinger, you just want to hope that the Dodgers need him defensively. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, Cody Bellinger is not really the worst part for the Dodgers, especially when you consider where they're batting him in the lineup. I mean, he's consistently down the order. Today, you saw him batting 6th. They moved Justin Turner down to the 7th hole. Eddie Alvarez, he was able to get a base hit. He goes 1 for 4. Gavin Lux goes 1 for 4. Me, in my opinion, one of the shakeups I would do, I would put Trey Turner as a leadoff guy, of course. Freddie Freeman, I would move him to the cleanup spot, and I would move Gavin Lux to the 2 hole, and then have Will Smith at 3rd. So let me know down below in the comment section, who would your top 4 in the Dodgers lineup be? Me, right now, for the shakeup, I'm going Trey Turner, Gavin Lux, Will Smith, and Freddie Freeman. Because Freddie Freeman, you're seeing the slug pickup. You're seeing how much better he is hitting with guys on base. And I think Gavin Lux, he's been the Dodgers' most consistent bat other than Trey Turner this month. And I think that he's a guy that he's ready to level up. He's ready to level up. And I think that, yes, it could compromise the bottom of the order, but then also you have guys like Chris Taylor you could shuffle down there. And you got to hope that Bellinger, gets some base hits, and that Max Muncy and Justin Turner and JT was able to get a hit today, and he also took a walk. But still, I think that the top of this lineup just isn't potent with enough with Mookie Betts out. So let me know down below in the comment section, who's your top 4. But yeah, we got Ryan Kimbrel used Spider Tack with the Cubs. And once MLB cracked down on it, his results showed with the White Sox. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's something there for sure. That's for sure. I mean, Craig Crumble, right? That's what I see here. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Kimbrel ponytail looks like a little ponytail. We got Trey Kimbrel for a Little League pitcher in Stan's commercial. We got a bring back. Trade for Josh Bell. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been looking into. I mean, he's been playing first base all season. So, I mean, poor Boston. Stop blaming the ball. They've had 60-plus games to adjust. Joshua Luna. I'm not blaming the ball at all, really. I mean, I think that's the onus is on the hitters themselves to say, hey, if they can't generate that power with the ball they're using this year, then they need to start finding gaps. They need to start finding base hits. So, to me, I'm not blaming anything. I mean, I don't make excuses. I just give explanations, and I do think that that's an explanation as to why certain hitters were having success in the past, a little bit just more than they currently are. But then it's always a combination of factors. It's it's the age, it's the injuries, it's all kinds of things. But what are the porn websites? I'm tripping now. Was the sun in their eyes? Was it Jupiter in third house of Venus? Blah blah blah. The Dodgers are one of the worst at scoring runs with runners on base. Yeah. The sex box, I must not be getting those. But Doug, do you think Carson Fulmer in AAA can help us pitching late this year? I mean, he's a guy it's possible for sure. I mean, he's looked good down there, but I think that at this point, you got to hope that guys like Blake Trinan can get back. Dustin May, I saw with my own eyes. I was standing on the field at Dodger Stadium watching him during his bullpen session, and I think that he's a guy that they're going to have a lot of expectations for when he comes back after the All-Star break. And then Danny Duffy, you've heard some good things about him down in Arizona. But to trade Kimbrel for a Little League pitcher, Tony Rodriguez, Diamondbacks. We got how about Bauer as closer in a provisional role for Michael Alex. World Series hangover was last year. Rebecca, they didn't make the World Series last year. Carl, I'll send the Dodgers my anger management bill. Ryan, bring Pollock back for Kimbrel. Stan, I like that one. How about Bauer as closer? Yeah, for me, you can send him your anger management bill, and I'll send him my bill to my therapist. Right? We'll combine with that one. That's from. I don't give you credit for that one. We got Stan the Rams fan. We got Boomer Assassin agree. Paul Vila Roberts just said it's definitely not Eddie's fault. He hasn't played right field. So why is he out there? Roberts is lost as a manager. Can't believe they signed him to another contract. Paul Vila, I mean, I didn't hear what you saw, but I think that I can extrapolate from that you're 100% right. If you know he can't play right field, what I say at the beginning of the show, don't set guys up for failure. And you know Eddie Alvarez is a guy that he's achieved his entire life, man. He's achieved his entire life, and he's going to give it the go, and he's going to say he can get it done, but clearly that wasn't the best move. He's a guy that's much more comfortable in the infield, and when you talk about this Dodgers team at the big league level and all the developing they've done with Gavin Lux and the fact you have Bellinger and Chris Taylor, I think that, look, you can even put Chris Taylor, of course, in right, and you can put Gavin Lux in left. And I know that Chris Taylor, his arm, he's had the elbow issue. He had that little elbow surgery before the season. His arm hasn't looked the same, but still, when it comes to just basic fielding and generating outs, that's kind of the most important thing. But here we go. Matty Man Dodge. If you move Lux, you put pressure on him, leave Lux where he is. No, man. This is a guy that was a top prospect. Pressure is a good thing, man. Pressure is a privilege. Don't tell me that, it's going to put pressure. Man, you're in the big leagues. This isn't Little League. This isn't T-ball. Okay? You guys, this is not, we're not handing out orange slices and Capri Suns. This is Major League Baseball, man. If you were asked to perform, then you got to put yourself in situations to perform. So, no, absolutely not. This is a good, I don't see it as a pressure situation. I see it as an opportunity for Gavin Lux to show how much he's grown as a hitter, which he has done in a great way this season. So I wouldn't see it as that. Look, at some point, Gavin Lux, if you want him to fully realize his potential, you got to put him in these situations. But here we go. I like your trade, Turner, Gavin Lux, Will Smith, and Freddie Freeman, although Freddie needs to improve on slugging. V-Track, yeah, I think I agree with you for sure when it comes to that. And, yeah, if you look at Freddie Freeman's numbers, numbers, the slugging is down this season. And today it was good to see him go yard, his 6th home run of the year. But you've also seen, even yesterday, he was able to get that double, goes 3 for 5. And then before that, his last extra base hit was against the Cubs in that epic 11-9 win when he had another 3-hit game. So, yeah, he actually had the home run against the Giants, I believe, too, on the Saturday game against the Giants. Whoops. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, you see some home runs, see some doubles, and I think that'll give us I think this team needs a line. This team needs to look at a different lineup card. And, of course, just with Mookie Betts out in general, you're going to see that. But same top 4 as you, D-Mac. What up, Deborah Young? How you doing? Deborah Young, can you call your boy A.J. Pollock? Because Deborah Young, she was a Pollock defender all throughout the early years of him with the Dodgers, his injury woes, and he finally turned around, had the breakout year in 2020, and then he was phenomenal in 2021. Can you call your boy? Can we go back in time and keep Pollock? Let me know. Craig Kimberly after today. Alfonso, I can't believe I read that. Diane Schroeder, yes, definitely D-Mac. We need to shake up the lineup tremendously. Michael, Trey, Smith, Freeman, Lux. Interesting. So you got Trey batting lead up, Smith, Freeman, and Lux. They like to stagger the lefty-righties, right? So Dylan, how's it going, Dylan? Trey, Lux, Smith, or CT3. Freddie, Lux definitely need to move up at the moment. Yeah, I think Chris Taylor, he performs. Look, he's a guy that we saw in 2017. He was able to perform as a leadoff hitter. And Trey Turner is a guy that, he's a guy that, of course, he's a natural leadoff hitter. He's kind of seen some different pitches batting third in his Dodger career. But I think that he's ready to assume that role with Mookie Betts out. And I think with Chris Taylor, he can provide some pop in those, towards the bottom of the lineup. They're going to need him in that situation. I just think when you got Trey Turner as a righty, Lux as a lefty, and that 1-2 punch right there with all that speed, let's not forget, Gavin Lux, he's in the 93rd percentile in sprint speed. Yes, Trey Turner is second behind Bobby Witt Jr. at 30.3 feet per second, but he's a guy that has wheels as well. But, Craig crumbles, man. That's how the cookie crumbles with Craig at the moment. And like I said, I just think that I don't want to see him out there showing frustration, man. He's got to go out there and he's got to execute and make pitches. He just wasn't doing it. But Outman is batting .291 in Tulsa. He's an outfielder. Moose, 1032. Yeah, James Outman's another guy that you've heard mentioned in possible deals. He's another guy that offensively has grown tremendously in the last few seasons as well. I think it's still just a little early for him to get that call and be expected to make an impact at this level. I think Zach McKinstry is a guy that I've liked. Before he went down that oblique injury last season, he was just raking. So I think Zach McKinstry, Z-Mac, I want to see it. But what did we got? So let's jump back here. Anthony Keene, MLB is going to make sure Bauer never pitches again. Good one, D-Mac. Machado in first base. Name a better rival. Mike Jones who? Mike Jones who? What up, Mike Jones? I've seen enough. Time to rebuild from Barry Lorenzo Cain to the Dodgers Papas. We got my favorite 3 AAA players in March 2021 were Outman, McKinstry, and DJ Peters. We got Eddie Alvarez should have Eddie Alvarez should have speed skated to the ball, to that ball, and then do a twirl after catching it. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Just kind of, just pretend you're on speed skates, and instead of the ball, pretend it's a gold medal or a silver medal, and just try to catch it. Maybe that will change things up. But yeah, I mean, you feel for Eddie Alvarez. It was a rough day for him out there, and look, like I said, would the Dodgers have won if he doesn't kind of have that little meltdown he had in the second inning there? There's a good chance, there's a chance they do. But bottom line is the bullpen didn't get it done. And really this was altogether a team loss, in my opinion. But LLWC, this is the big leagues of Little League. Win or see ya. That's from Stan the Rams fan. But Carl, criticize Muncy all you want, but there's many others just as bad. Reality check here. This team is just so-so. Carl, I mean, you can. There's a lot of blame to go around if you want to slice it up that way, and I think that, Max Muncy gets a lot of the attention just because of how poor he's been this season, and I think a lot of that can be sliced up to the fact that he's still recovering from that UCL injury. But Bellinger hasn't been the guy we had hoped he would be, still just floating above 200 with the occasional power. You see Justin Turner's power numbers down, and you see even Freddie Freeman going through a slump of late. I mean, his June numbers are way down compared to April and May. Trey Turner, he's been outstanding. Mookie Betts, he was slumping before he went down. He was struggling with a sub-600 OPS in the month of June. So, this offense as a whole just hasn't gotten down, but there are certain guys that are going to take the blame more than others, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast. But Naked H... Oh, I see, you go, D-Bat. Hey, what up, Diane Shooter? Besides Mookie, is anyone with the Dodgers in the teens with the home runs? If you look at the Dodgers stats, really, I mean, you got Mookie Betts, who before he went down, Mookie Betts, that's the thing too. You bring up a really good point there. You're not seeing the double digits. Mookie with 17 home runs, and the second most is Trey Turner with 9. After that, you got Will Smith at 8. You've got Cody Bellinger at 8. You've got, one of the big things, too, which I tweeted out the other day was, I bet you didn't realize how much you were going to miss Edwin Rios. And yes, there's a lot of boomer bust. There's a lot of feast or famine with Edwin Babe Rios, but he's a guy that is a bopper. Then when he runs into one, it leaves the yard. And when he went down, he had a 793 OPS. But you got Trey Turner. Look, as the weather heats up, so do the power numbers usually. So hopefully you'll see more home runs from Freddie Freeman, who hit his 6th home run of the season. Chris Taylor has 6 home runs currently. Justin Turner with 4 home runs and 222 at-bats. So those power numbers are extremely down. If you look at Justin Turner heading into today, the most he had his highest slugging heading into today, Justin Turner in 22 slugging 338. 338. That was his lowest since the 2011 season when he slugged 356. Last year, Justin Turner in 2021, he was slugging 471, and that was even with a down second half in that department. So, his slugging has gone way, way down. Here we go. Why put in a struggle closer in the 9th with it tied? Who does that? Common sense, man. Jason Wesley. You burned Daniel Hudson. You got, some of the guys were down. Evan Phillips. You got Yency Almonte, Alex Vesia. You didn't get it much from them. So look, I think the thought right there is that he can find a way to keep it at 3, and the Dodgers walk it off in the 9th. But when you saw what they were able to do in the bottom of the 9th inning, they Dodgers really didn't have very much of a chance there. So when you have Clase in there for Cleveland, Clase was really freaking amazing. You saw he gets Justin Turner to line to left. He struck out Alvarez with that cutter, 100 miles per hour on that cutter. He was hitting 101 on that cutter. Then Lux, he grounds out on that cutter. So, he was pretty dominant. But Craig wears Kimberly Clark. White Sox fleeced us for Pogas from Gary A. I'm going to do lightning round of comments, and we'll head out of this one. So, if you got any super hot takes, let me know down below. But, big takeaways were really Andrew Heaney. I think the positives for the Dodgers with Andrew Heaney kind of picked up where he left off, in the sense that he was going out there and getting the job done. The big only concern is a lot of his hits come as extra base hits. You saw the home run to Gonzalez was a slider. just kind of out over the plate, kind of leaked in the middle there. He kind of ambushed it. You saw him give up a double. If you looked at his overall body of work today, Andrew Heaney, he ends up throwing that. The good thing, too, the velocity was up on that fastball. I mean, the velocity averaged 92.1 miles per hour, topped out at 93.7. He threw that two-seamer 74% of the time. So Andrew Heaney, he ends up giving up 1 run on 5 hits, had 7 punch-outs, 77 pitches, 51 for strikes. You want to see him do a little better job of getting ahead in the count, was 14 for 23 on first pitch strikes, 12 swings and misses, and we didn't see that epic sweeping slider they had been so effective with. That sweeping slider, he didn't have the same feel for it today, but he still was able to make up for it by going with that heater, and that's how he got 5 of his 7 strikeouts. He did strike out Jimenez with the slider low the way in the 4th, and then Hedges with that slider in the 5th inning swinging as well. So he did get the feel for that slider later in his outing, but you saw him start to kind of lose stamina. So he's still kind of building back up. So I do think, all in all, if you want to feel good about something, it is the fact that Andrew Heaney did have another solid starts, and you saw how phenomenal he was, 19 punch-outs in those 3 rehab starts. So I thought that he looked, for the most part, pretty good. I mean, I would say, I would give him a solid B for his first outing back. I mean, maybe even, probably a solid B, B+, maybe not, probably B. When you look at the length of it, I did think you did see some hard contact there. Make no mistake about it. He gave up some extra base hits, and that kind of is the concern with Andrew Heaney is, he gave his first home run of the year. Last year, he was among the league worst when it came to home runs per 9, so especially home run to fly ball ratio. And kind of the issue with Heaney before he was signed with the Dodgers was he threw that fastball too much. And then today, you saw him throw that heater go with that fastball at a 74% clip. So let's hope that he kind of lowers that fastball usage and starts to get that feel back for that sweeping slider that was so effective for him in his first 2 starts. So you can feel good about that. The Dodgers offense, I think for the most part, yes, you got the home run from Freddie Freeman, but not enough from this Dodgers offense. Too many strikeouts, not enough clutch base hitting, bad situational hitting. Max Muncy not getting it done. They end up the offense goes 8 for 34 today with 13 strikeouts, 15 men left on base, 2 walks. Trey Turner goes 1 for 4. Freddie 1 for 4. Will Smith had a solid day. He goes 2 for 3, but Muncy 0 for 4. Taylor 1 for 4. Belly 0 for 4. JT 1 for 3. Alvarez 1 for 4. And Lux 1 for 4. So the offense just was not able to get it done. And then, like I said, the bullpen as well. I think Alex Vesia, we haven't really talked enough, not that much about Alex Vesia or Brusdar Graterol, but I think Brusdar Graterol, he did a nice job battling today. Brusdar Graterol, he came in for Andrew Heaney there in the 6th inning. And, I thought he did a pretty nice job. You saw he got Quan to line out to short. Then he gets Jimenez swinging with that 4-seam fastball elevated. So that's definitely a positive. See him get some swing and miss with an elevated 4-seam fastball. That's something that he's been trying to improve upon. So 98 miles per hour on that 4-seamer. But then he does give up the single to Clement. First pitch sinker, kind of leaves it in the middle of the zone. And then Hedges, he hits him with the sinker on his hand. So, man, imagine getting hit by a 100-mile-per-hour fastball there. But he was able to get his way out of that. Bases loaded. He strikes out Straw on 3 pitches. And you see Straw, he kind of flipped his bat. He kind of looked at Brusdar Graterol while he's doing his celebration, kind of mean-mugging him. I'm like, dude, first of all, that's a tribute to his brother, okay? I mean, they should put that in the media guide, in the broadcast notes so the opposing team doesn't get offended by that. But, yeah, I think when you look in that situation, and also, too, I mean, going back to Andrew Heaney a little bit, so I think Brusdar Graterol, he gave up a hit, but, it was nice to see him get some punch-outs, nice to see him battle there. And I also think in the top of the first inning, a key at bat, too, was on that 3-2 count where Heaney was able to get Naylor swinging on that sinker up in the zone for strike 3. That was a big game-changing inning because I always try to look for these at-bats that kind of are like kind of the butterfly effect, the domino effect type at-bats that kind of change the game right there. And on the 3-1 count, he was up 3-1, and then on the 3-1 pitch, he was supposed to be a sinker away, and it ended up inside, and Naylor kind of fouls it off in on the hands. That makes it 3-2, and he's able to strike him out on the very next pitch. So I think that he was effectively at wild today. He didn't have his best command, but hopefully he kind of gets that back and kind of improves upon it. But still, if you look at the results, 1 earned run in 5 innings of work. But here we go. Alvarez is the best we can do from Willie. Look at Ramales Villa. That parade was packed. No excuses. Someone needs to light a fire under these guys. That's from Dovies. Danny Duffy, timetable, Michael Carrillo. Look, I mean, we talked to Dave a few days ago about Duffy. Still tracking for after the All-Star break. But he's a guy that is looking pretty good. EB, if the Dodgers don't pick up the offense, they are going to fire 2 batting coaches. LLWC, Doug, our jobs on the line now, management, coaching, staff, ball players. Look, I was talking to an insider about this yesterday at the game, and it was the question I asked was, what would it take to enter the hot seat, to maybe have some turnover when it came to Dave Roberts? Because you look at Joe Madden, if you look at Girardi, I mean, there's been some quick triggers on some of these managers around the league, and in my opinion, it would be if this team is healthy enough. If they miss the playoffs, which with the expanded postseason, you're not going to see that. But if this team missed the playoffs or maybe they get swept in the first round, maybe you could see it. Maybe there's a possibility. Also, if the offense doesn't perform, if you see this team struggle for the rest of the year, I think maybe you look for a new voice for the hitting coaches. But I think that's an overrated thing, because if you go to these batting practices, if you go to these sessions, these guys all have their own techniques, their own work ethic, their own hitting coaches. So these guys are superstars. Let's not forget. And I think that they feel that you win by slugging, you win by scoring runs, and right now they're just not doing that. But maybe the Dodgers say, hey, man, someone's got to fall on the sword, and maybe it is them at the end of the day. But I do think that missing the playoffs and getting swept in the first round would probably lead to some consideration for changeover. I do think that Dave Roberts is a guy that if you see what he's able to do in that clubhouse when it comes to a leadership standpoint and his ability to give guys confidence when they're playing well and when they're not, I think that's something that's a unique trait that a lot of managers don't have. And look, let's be honest, I mean, if you know anything about the previous managers like Mattingly, like there were players that just flat out didn't want to play for him. They just hated him, man. They straight up did. Like, it was very toxic. So he's able to maintain that. But Isaac, I missed the 2020 squad. We got Paul, should have kept Kike, Verdugo, and Pollock, Alex Renteria. How do you rebuild with the second highest payroll in baseball? They can't afford to rebuild. They have to win now, Alex Renteria. Yeah, I mean, we're on the same page. I mean, you're speaking my language, because, I mean, I've been saying that you guys watch the show. Have I not said that this window is a lot shorter than people realize? Have I not said this is a last dance type of season? It is a World Series or buzz team, and not in just the fact that it's in this market, but in the fact that they have guys that won't be back next year. And if you want to win with this core and this nucleus, you have to get it done this season. But, yep, guys, man, I could talk to you guys all day. Let's do a couple more rapid fire and let you guys enjoy. By the way, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. First, I want to wish Austin Barnes a happy Father's Day. His son, of course, is a pitcher for the San Diego Padres, Blake Snell. So happy Father's Day to Austin Barnes. Happy Father's Day to Joe Kelly. His kids, of course, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve. Happy Father's Day to him. Also, happy Father's Day to Max Muncy. His son, of course, a pitcher for the Diamondbacks, and Madison Bumgarner. Happy Father's Day to Bruce Dark Gratterall. His son, of course, plays for the San Diego Padres and Manny Machado. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. If you guys have anyone you want to wish happy Father's Day to, let me know down below. But happy Father's Day, guys. LOL. Justin is just no good. No, I'm not getting rid of all the yeah, man. My favorite is Austin Barnes, man. I rewatched that. I see Snell going off the mound, like, all pissed, but anyways, Justin is just no good from Carl. Joseph Gonzalez, at least the Rockies swept the Padres today, but it sucks we couldn't push them back a game. LMAO. Steve, who thinks the Apple TV broadcasters suck? I tried it Friday night, and I immediately canceled the service. Yeah, but man, how great is the quality of the video? Man, that's next level stuff. A SoCal fan, JT can maybe take down a role with the organization as a coach. SoCal fan, that feels like it's something that is very in the works. Not in the works, but something that I can see happening. Dylan LMAO, hey, you guys, good time. I'll give myself fish him. It was horrible. We got how about a starter for a closer, not Kershaw? Happy Father's Day, pound for pound. It was horrid. Muncy, JT Bellinger equal dead. Wade Bellinger will leave over my dead body. Kimbrel still on diaper duty. Happy Father's Day to Kershaw. He's the Giants' daddy. There we go, Paul Vila. Definitely is. Feel that one. But, yep, guys, thanks for rocking with us after another tough Dodgers loss. But, hey, guys, I'm just see this shoulder. It's for you guys to cry on, and you guys help me out too, getting through any of these tough losses. But the sky isn't falling. The Mookie Betts injury is definitely a big blow. And this Dodgers bullpen, they faltered today. The offense continues to struggle. So look, we have a lot of work to do for this Dodgers organization. And as someone said earlier, Andrew Friedman has his work cut out for him at the deadline. But hey, for me, someone who to thrive, loves the player mobility, the movement, the trades. I'm like the yellow dude in the suit behind the tree, just really excited about the trades coming, because now we're talking about potentially adding a bat, a bullpen arm, a starting pitcher. Because I'm telling you right now, if the Dodgers don't make significant impact moves, they're not going to be serious, legitimate contenders. So that's just the reality of the situation. But thanks, guys, as always. But on a real level, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to all your fathers and all that good stuff, man. Have a cold one on me, man. I'm about to chug like half a beer and be wasted. No, I'm just playing. But thanks, guys. Here we go. A couple more rounds of comments, and I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your Father's Day. Pound for pound, D-Mac. Peace out, pound for pound. Today is Garvey's day, getting calls from his 240 kids. You got me dead, man. You got me weak. Yeah, man. Yeah, Phillip Rivers is probably broke today. No, but this is the Phillip Rivers day, right? He probably got so many gifts, man. What a great day for Phillip Rivers. Hit that like button from Alex Renteria. Juan Soto trade coming soon. Coming in hot, Mike Jones. Happy Father's Day, Kimbrel. Blew it. Yeah, Craig Crumble. Thanks, D-Mac. We appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you guys. Thanks, D-Mac. Thanks, Rebecca. That's a fire take, Mike Jones. Yeah, man. Really, I be stroking. You're ready for some player mobility. I see you. I be stroking. You be stroking those trade vibes, man. We'll be coming with those for sure, man. But yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Like I said, Dodgers take the loss, thankfully. So did the Padres and the Dodgers. They remain in first place, tied, or is it tied? Or I think they're half game up. So they're half game up on the Padres at 40-25, 5-5 in their last 10. But we'll be back with you guys next week, and enjoy the rest of your day. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time.